All right, a one-bedroom condo in Vancouver costs upwards of $500,000. A one-bedroom condo in Vancouver costs upwards of $500,000. Okay, what does this mean here? Upwards of. Have you heard that before? Upwards of. It's a very common thing to say in English. Maybe you don't know what that means. So that's why you come here to Mad English TV, right? To learn these things. So upwards of means more than. Okay, we use this word. I guess it's two words, right? We use this term when we're not really sure what the real number is, right? So it kind of means approximately, right? But approximately more than, right? We're kind of saying it at least $500,000, right? If you go to Vancouver and you look at it, like just go online, right? Look at condos in Vancouver. You're gonna see they're pretty steep, right? The prices are pretty steep. Steep means they're high, right? It's hard to buy a condo in Vancouver, right? Actually, the word steep means like it's like if it's a very like what can I use instead of steep? I was going to say a steep incline, but you can't use a word to define that word. Right? If you don't know what the word steep means, maybe I could say it's a very sharp incline, right? So this would be like a slope, right? If this let's say you're climbing a mountain, right? And the mountain has a slope of like this kind of an angle. Well, that's not very steep, right? But if you're trying to climb a mountain and the angle is like that, well, that's a very steep angle, right? So we can use this word steep to talk about prices as well, right? If I say in Vancouver, the real estate prices are really steep. That means they're expensive. It's hard to buy a condo in Vancouver. I mean, just for even a one bedroom condo in Vancouver, I mean, you're looking at upwards of $500,000, right? Just go online, look for yourself. A 2-3 bedroom condo is upwards of $1 million easy, right? So I don't know what happened to the prices in Vancouver. Maybe I can go live in Vancouver one day. That'd be nice. That's expensive though. So if you are if you're a rich person and you have a couple 100,000 just sitting around, you don't have any purpose, send it over my way. I'll go and buy a condo in Vancouver. That'd be fun, right? So upwards of, right? It means like we're talking more than a certain number, or at least we think it's going to be more than a certain number, right? We kind of mean we use this when we're not sure. It's a lot of times we use this to talk about the future, especially with costs, right? Let's see if I have. Oh, here's an example. Okay, so we can use this. We can use this upwards of term to talk about dollar amounts, any kind of number, right? It could be a dollar, it could be a percentage, it could be, you know, pounds if you're measuring your weight or you're talking about your weight loss or something like that, right? So we're talking kind of at least this number, probably more, right? So let's look at this example. The average cost to raise a child in Canada is upwards of $280,000. That's expensive to raise a child, right? But I looked online and apparently this is true, right? It costs upwards of $280,000. So that means it's going to cost probably 280,000 or more on average, right? So at least 280,000, probably the average, right? It's a lot of money, right? Maybe that'll give you some second thoughts about having children. If you have second thoughts about something, it means you kind of start to question what your first thought was, right? Maybe your first thought was, well, I'm going to have children. Ooh, cost $280,000. Now I'm thinking again, right? It means to have a second thought. It means you're starting to question that, right? So let's look at another example. Real inflation could be upwards of 20%. Okay, so the government, official government numbers, they always fudge the numbers, right? If you fudge a number, that means it's not a true number, right? You kind of play some dirty games with your financing, right? The government of a country has their their finance people who always try to make things look good, right? Well, inflation is a big problem right now in the world, right? And a lot of countries, especially here in the Western countries, like in Europe, Canada, US, right? It's at least the official number is at least 10%, right? Probably, but real inflation, right? Because the way they measure inflation isn't really the real inflation, right? So real inflation could be upwards of 20%. So this is what this means is it could be 20%, maybe even more, right? We don't know, but it's kind of I'm guessing, right? I'm approximating. Is that right? I'm approximating. Can I say that? I'm giving an approximate number, right? It's upwards of 20%. There were upwards of 40 people at the party, right? So let's say I ask you, how many people were at the party last night at your party? You could say, I'm not sure, probably upwards of 40 people. Upwards of 40 people. Okay, that means probably more than 40 people, at least 40 people, maybe more, Okay, let's look at another one. She has lost upwards of 80 pounds this year. Congratulations if you have lost 80 pounds this year, right? So 80 pounds, that's a number, right? So notice when we use this term upwards of, it's always followed by a number, right? It could be pounds, could be dollars, could be a percentage point, could be anything, right? But it's always a number. Okay, it was upwards of 30 degrees today. It was upwards of 30 degrees. So what's the temperature? Was it a hot day in your country? You could say, yeah, it was pretty hot. It was upwards of 30 degrees. Upwards, probably more than 30 degrees, right? So upwards of, right? So we use this when we're talking about a number, when we want to say it's probably more than that number, but we don't know exactly what the number is, right? Because if I asked you, how hot is it today? And if you knew the exact number, well, you would just tell me it was 32 degrees today. Or if I ask you, how much weight have you lost this year? You could tell me, I lost 84 pounds. You know the exact number. But if you don't know the exact number, then we use this, right? We use this upwards of probably at least, if not more than this number, right? So guys, hope that makes sense. I just wanted to teach you, this to just help you speak a little bit more naturally and also to understand this because you hear this all the time. I hear this, if you listen to podcasts, they could be talking about the size of an army, right? Oh, that country's army has upwards of, so many soldiers or whatever, or they have spent upwards of $1 billion or whatever. You'll hear this term upwards of being used quite a bit. I mean, probably, I don't know, you'll hear it sometime. So now that I've taught it to you, you will hear it probably in the next few days. You'll hear it somewhere, right? So guys, thank you so much for tuning into my video. And I just want to say, if you want to make a sentence, a homework sentence with this, I'd be happy to read it. So leave your homework comment down there in the comment section. And I love you guys so much. Hope you're having a great day. Stay safe. Did I say that right? Or did I say safe? Say safe. No. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay happy. And as always, I'll see you guys over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.